need to learn to tap into this deeper self.
Yeah,
A state, right? A state of like excellence.
Forget about the
It
other
takes
people.
time.
If you get it, you get it.
Some people get
with audition.
Some people get that easily. It's natural. But some, like for me in the beginning, and that's when it comes to the practice part of it. Like everything that you practice, you become better. I think we spoke about that before.
yeah.
But for me, the first auditions that I had was like, it was very difficult because I couldn't get in that state. Hello, dance lovers. I'm Junior Enrique.
I'm Ana Luisa Luisi. We are the Brazilian couple.
And this is Dance is the Answer podcast. And this is Humberto Teixeira, our
Hi guys.
favorite guest.
We already said we're not gonna say your name anymore.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have
I
the
say.
other
Okay, sorry.
It feels natural.
My name is Humberto Teixeira.
one. Okay. Oh, and today we have Julie too. So
Oh yeah, we
if you're
forgot to
watching,
mention that.
This is Julie.
Yeah. She's gonna be answering some questions you guys have. So
Hopefully not.
She's the real guru here.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, the first time I saw a dog like Julie was like in Brazil. They have like the cars, and in front of the car they have like a little exactly this here. And then there was like a Yorkie, like you know, whenever Julie's really tired, she gets like in a caracol position.
Yes.
I don't know how you say
All curled
caracol in English. I don't know how you say that, but and I remember seeing that and I was like, it looks real.
With the accent.
With the accent,
Caracol.
But I used to see that, and it was like the first idea that I have about Yorkie, and I was like, looks like a real, puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I see Julie on the sofa. It's exactly that vision.
Exactly like that.
Also, there was a guy, a friend of us, that had the little tiny ones that look like they didn't look real.
Right,
Like half size of a
Os
Julie.
cachorrinhos desse
Miniature.
miniature.
Yeah.
It's
Ennio.
like
Remember? Ennio.
yeah.
Has very little ones, like with the
Julie-
eyes, like look like they're.
Julie's 6 pounds. They're Yorkies. They're 3 pounds. Like half of her.
They're like
3 pounds. The wind can just.
Yeah.
them.
Oh, sometimes we walk Julie and it's windy here by the water. Like the leash is like pulling away,
Yeah, no, I mean, the wind doesn't.
Yeah.
No, seriously. She tries to
She's kind of like a
forward, but
surfing.
she stays like.
And imagine 3 pounds. But that's it, man.
Yeah.
That is not 2 pounds.
I don't know.
Might be. I
mean,
don't know.
when they are born.
Genetically, like a.
By the way, my baby is already almost 3 pounds.
Okay.
2.9
He's
ounces.
a coconut.
Maybe today
He's
he's
a
already
coconut,
3
yeah.
pounds. 3 pounds. Can you
crazy.
imagine?
And last night he moved a lot.
Yeah,
He
he's
was
been moving
kicking,
quite a lot.
where he's kicking like.
Really?
And then I put the hand on her belly and I talked to him, and then he punched.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like
Funny.
this size is his head. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And so when they say kicking, it doesn't make sense for me because
No, it's just because you really feel like
Yeah.
the skin moving too.
No, yes. Oh my God. What a sensation, man.
Yeah. I mean, now I feel it and I'm like, whoa, what's happening? But for her, it's like, she likes the feeling. She's like,
it's great.
She gets kind of high whenever he moves. She's like, woo.
no, it's good. It's just good,
Uh-huh.
It reminds you that they're alive.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling
Mhm.
because you cannot hear their heart.
Yes.
So the only
yes.
thing that we have to assure us that they're there
Yeah.
is when they move.
It's funny. It's like 2 months away. Isn't that crazy?
No.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes. So what we're going to talk about today is something that I remember vividly the first time I had to do this. And it was like not a good memory though. It's funny,
Yeah.
right?
We're gonna talk about dance auditions and what we think it takes to
Mhm.
get hired, right? Because
As
no
a
one
professional
knows.
dancer, right? Yeah. And it's funny because when I started dancing, I always hear about auditions. I know I had to do a class to get into the company where we all worked together for the first time. I know there was a class, but it was more like an apprentice. Humberto brought me to the company, SESI. And then I took like classes, very shy on the corner, and then slowly they offered me to to
To
be part of
join.
the company. Yeah. But once you're in a company, you don't have to audition anymore. You just go take class and you're there. And it's comfortable.
Mhm.
But if you wanna move on in your career and learn more and be in a different place, and you always want to get better, that's when audition comes in. It's like, yeah, I remember being like terrified by it. It's crazy.
I mean, once you're in the company, once you get hired, you don't have auditions, but you definitely have to still not prove yourself, but like whenever a choreographer comes or a new teacher or a guest artist or the director is watching the class, is you have to. It's almost like an audition because you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my words are.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I know what you
No,
mean.
it makes sense.
It's like you got to prove yourself. You always wanted to do the next role. You
That's-
want to be
yeah.
doing the principal role, the soloist. It's like it's always something to go after.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to have a guest watching your dancers when you're choreographing, like bring somebody, they'll push through it much.
You get excited, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about getting
And exposing.
comfortable, like you said, like I remember times where every day for me it was a challenge for myself, like for me to move up,
To keep
like
going. Yeah.
it doesn't matter who was watching you, if it was the same teacher every day or not. I challenged myself to do a much better class than yesterday, and so on.
I think that's the goal of any dancer. Like if you are in a room and you're taking ballet class every day, if you sit and you wait the time to pass, that's not the right place for you. And I feel like that's with any profession. But with dance, it's like I remember now looking back when I started, you are constantly trying to improve, constant, like a daily. You're trying. It's like a never stop feeling,
Yeah, and the environment, like the classroom, it's like one wants to do better than the other. Like if you turn 3, I wanted to turn 4. Like
Yeah, there's a little ego on the side.
It's not in a mean way. Not always. There are also unhealthy
There's some
ways
mean
to
dancers.
unhealthy ways to compete, but compete with your
Competitions,
colleagues,
it's
your
healthy.
colleagues. Sometimes it's not. But I'm saying it's constantly you trying to prove that you like better, or I don't know.
That you improve. You
That
want to
you
be.
improve,
You want.
yeah.
I was talking to
And you
someone
can
yesterday.
do it something,
I was talking to a guy yesterday. He's a chorus. He's a singer at the Met, and we're talking about that, like how we are vulnerable dancers, artists. Like we need constant feedback. We need constant validation. Maybe that works for other careers, but I'm a dancer, so I know that. Like we as dancers, I was speaking for myself, and he was like, totally. Like we are always searching for. Approve of something, approve of like we're doing the right thing. Like we need guidance to like, hey, you're doing the right thing, or you're doing right. Oh, you got much better. We're always improving. It's like there's always something we're searching for, and that's how I feel. Like I don't know if you guys are thinking the same.
Yeah.
thing, but
No, that's why, like, depends. There's many ways to talk about this. Like you can also see audition as a competition too, and all the daily life as a competition. But look, you can use it as a tool, the word game or competing, but this repetition of every day, it's kind of like the warrior's mentality that we must learn to practice without attachment to if people gonna like it or not, even though it's not our life, it's our life. But a little bit also is good to. I feel like that's seeing dancers going to the studio too much with it. I want to get better all the time about. And what is it? Get better? Why? Like I say, some dancers will tell me, "Oh, when I start competing, I realized I made my family happy, and my father was always smiling when I win." And so then unhealthy little by little became unhealthy. because now she's much older and is still dealing with this. Yeah.
Right.
And I have another student like this. He was exactly the same situation, but him was with the teacher. He wanted to
Prove
when
the
he
teacher.
realized that the teacher would be so warm with him the other day after he win, he's like, I'm gonna win every
That's what I'm
competition.
saying. It's
But
the
that's why-
validation I'm talking about.
The-
Like you want to be, you want to get a prize.
Mhm, mhm.
Not a prize, but like you know what I mean? Like
Especially when you want to make somebody proud of you.
proud.
né?
Yeah, you need that.
But I'm talking about like the teacher must make the person curious with what is this feeling of
Yeah.
going in, because imagine when I did audition in Europe, there was some places where the people have like out of this world bodies,
Right.
and I truly have a belief inside of me that the right way, the right moment was going to happen because I'm an artist. And
That's the mentality we need.
yeah, but I was like you're saying, stressed with the moment of the audition. Like when I got there, I was like
Yeah, that
dry.
that was dry,
Like, I was
yeah.
like, ooh, it's gonna be hard. But actually, after the music starts, I'm just relaxing, and that's what I'm saying. We need to learn to tap into this deeper self.
Yeah, I
a state, right? A state of
Yes.
like excellence.
Forget about the
It
other
takes
people.
time.
If you get it, you get it. If you
Some
don't,
people get-
we next audition.
Some people get that easily. It's natural. But some, like for me in the beginning, and that's when it comes to the practice part of it. Like everything that you practice, you become better. I
Mhm.
think we spoke about that before.
yeah.
But for me, the first auditions that I had was like, it was very difficult because I couldn't get in that state. The state that I could get performing was completely different. The audition because you're being judged, you're being like you want to make it happen, you have expectations, and then out of nothing you're like boom, it's black. You can't concentrate.
Stage fright.
Yeah, it's state
Yeah.
fright.
Yeah, I think this also changed. Like once you're very young and just
That's the thing. The
come
age.
from school and like to do auditions, it's hard to separate because at the end of the day, what we work for is for the audience. It's not for
No,
your colleagues or the director.
No,
or this
that's-
and that. Yes,
that's the key.
You need the job, but you working hard so you can present a beautiful job for whoever is your paying audience and to do a beautiful show.
that's
But
very cool.
that's maturity. And when we're young, we're not that mature.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if I can put that.
No,
with
yeah,
the age, 'cause
experience.
There are some young.
No,
kids.
it has to do
Experience.
with maturity.
But
Maturity,
I feel like
experience, yeah,
feel like throughout my career that changed a lot. Like
for sure.
I still have to audition those days, right?
But you're not
but it's
suffering for it.
completely different. It's like it's not. I feel like I'm not
That's
in
right.
that state. Like oh, I need a job because this and this, and I need. No, it's like well, I'm this dancer. If you wanna hire me, I'll do my best, and this is my best. If you don't, all good.
No
On to the
feelings
next
attached.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it comes more peaceful now. The room is very
Ooh.
the audition room is very still
So many
the
different
energy
people, you
is
know,
very still like
different background,
it
different
brings me back to
nationality, different ways of taking life, you know.
the energy of a audition room is not my favorite at all.
Never
it
liked
never
that.
was. Because it's that feeling of everybody like looking
Show off.
you know, like no, not showing off, but like everybody is looking at each other with the certain type of, well, let's see what she's gonna do, you know, like, but all friendly in the outside, but not, and you can see that everybody's a little
Very
nervous.
true. Everybody's in the same boat. Yeah.
You get, but now, maybe I don't know, maybe I see it different now. I don't even like to talk to no one. I'm like I sit in my corner. I kind of not meditate, but like I close my eyes. I do my warm up in my own rhythm. You know, I'm not there until the choreographer comes and he does the material. I'm like, okay, let's work now.
Mhm.
But it's already a work. Audition now for me is already the work.
Yeah,
Because
Because you're not actually 100% auditioning anymore. You're already there,
Yeah.
but you audition for this specific piece.
No, but even
But
other,
still.
other places.
No, but I'm saying like this. Remember the feeling of when you didn't know anybody and you never even knew the place where you auditioned. That feeling, I'm saying that
Right.
that could trigger that. feeling on my, but
Actually,
now
I think-
you're like more like a type of like a Yoda, you know, like you control your emotions.
But-
You're used to the environment, you know.
I think that actually comes when we auditioned together for the company in New York. I forgot the name.
Hmm.
Because I wanted to leave the company I was dancing on. And I said, okay, I'm going to do... I didn't even know much about the company or anything.
Yeah.
It was probably a smaller company even.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Go try something
Yeah.
else.
go to the city. And there, what I did to myself was like, I pretended I was already part of it.
Good.
That's a good thing.
That's the best way.
Yeah. So I was super confident. I think I was one of my best class ever that I ever did. And it was a completely different technique.
It was Shakeri.
I never done Shakeri in my life. Different arms, like everything for me was
Like
very
we're learning
different.
everything, you know, in the class.
But I pretended I was there. But at the end of the day, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I didn't like this.
we got the offer, but we didn't accept it.
Yeah, but
But we had a good time auditioning.
I didn't felt like it was an audition because I put in my head that it wasn't. Yeah. Anyways.
No, but I agree with what you're saying because it's first is maturity. It took a long time for us to get that we can control ourselves in a better way, you know, in a smarter way. It's not just I need this, I gotta get this job, you know, because as a young dancer, you want things to happen really fast, and I feel like this generation now wants things to happen overnight. And I think back then when we were young, we were the same thing. We wanted things to happen, even though we're putting in the work. More than I believe a lot of younger kids are doing now, because everything fast, and then you see. Anyways, what I'm saying is that it takes time for you to understand that, but we have some tools that we used that might help some younger dancers now, you know, by talking about this.
Yeah, and also this is what you're saying about the age. Also has to do with the beliefs you let people put in your head, because I remember going to competitions or things like this and having a lot of limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's important that you can see yourself. Like you did the right thing. Like you saw yourself. I asked this wonderful teacher in New York a long time ago, what should I do before the audition? She said, visualize. Imagine that you already got it. How you want to be perceived by the director. And yeah, it's better that who say this is Brian Trace, right? It's okay to have butterfly in your stomach if they're gonna help you to fly.
Yeah, use
So,
that
yeah.
as a tool as well.
Exactly, because this is I reframe it, and that's what kind of what you do.
Yeah.
I reframe it to excitement, but I was nervous. The feeling was I'm nervous. No, wait, this is excitement.
Yeah.
Breathe and let's see. Can I enjoy this? What if in 20 years I could watch this Humberto here trying the audition? You know, would save so much of the same. And another thing, like you can play with different archetypes. Like you can be very friendly with people, so you feel calm.
Right.
For some people, like I'm telling you about this, but it's not dance anymore. I'll go into a martial art. But there is a Brazilian world champion for jiu-jitsu. I hate when the guy is nice to me. Because then I can't, I don't want to beat him anymore.
Yeah.
And like it's like many times he tried to stay away from them,
Yeah.
because some people are so like, hi man, how are you? And I said, oh no, I want to be his friend. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to beat him up.
True.
Yeah, I think for me, the fact that I don't like to talk before an audition is just because I don't want to lose my focus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wanted my focus to be in the material. My own, like, I think my concern before I got mature, I guess, was like, oh, is this what I'm wearing? Is it good? Oh, she looks so good.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks much better than me. Oh my God, I love that dancer. I can't believe I'm in the same room. That was my thoughts when I was
Outside, man.
focused.
What you cannot control.
Right.
Like now, I am focused. The only concern I have is like to learn the material. If I learn the material, I know I can do good. Either they hire me or not. I know if I learn it, and I know I'm going to present a good job, decent job. And if that's what they want, good. If not, good also. But if I lose my focus and I don't learn the material, then then I know it's gonna. I could just walk out the door because it's not gonna happen. Like I cannot pull, you know.
I agree with you. I think that's it. I think the most important thing is like, don't ask questions just because you need to ask questions, because we're gonna have a lot of questions in our head, right?
Ask question to who? To
us.
the-
Am I wearing the right thing? Am I doing the right
okay.
thing? Am I in the right spot? The best thing is to choose wisely which questions you're gonna ask.
Mhm.
Like, let's say, what's your purpose? What do you want out of this? Once you know that 100%, everything's gonna line up to success.
And everything else is like it's superficial. Like I don't know. This is me. If I was auditioning someone, of course I want to see nice present dancers. I don't want to see like people who clearly doesn't look like they care to be there.
Mhm.
But the first thing I'm gonna see is actually their personality throughout their movements,
Mhm.
more than the technique.
Yeah, you're looking
itself.
for that as a.
No, that is also very good you saying this, because I have a student long time ago that was audition, and I was studying how communication and body language, and then I said a couple of tools like as the teacher is walking, you follow him, and if you see he's moving too much, you also can be more agitated, so you can do the exercise kind of like a learning, or don't give your back, don't put your chin down, and things like this, and breathe with him. We can go much more like rapport, né? And she told me the audition was even funny because I felt so good, and he loved me, the person, and
And
it
probably
it was so simple. It was just because sometimes I'm teaching people, even when I was teaching an audition, and people are so self-oriented, they forgot the teacher. And this guy if this guy is happy with you, probably get the audition. So
match energy.
stay with him, match the energy. Now they're like on their own world.
Exactly.
With the exercise that they stretching, looking somewhere like what? No, wait. This guy's gonna know that I'm here to fight. You know, like
Yeah.
But that probably made your student be in a
Best way.
better mind. Because
instead of
she-
outside, so
Because-
concerned about
And that's what I'm
what
saying.
they're thinking.
That's what I'm saying.
You made her something to do instead of being nervous about
Mhm,
something else.
It's choice
Yeah.
in everything. I feel like this comes to conclusion that if you make a choice, you're gonna have a better route.
I have something.
But if you have many choices and you have no idea what's going on during the audition, you lost.
Mhm.
Like you're gonna go like home and be like, what did I do?
Look, I already got the job, but the person, no names mentioned here, but I got the job. So the person that's supposed to stage the ballet, which was a beautiful ballet, and I got the part, okay?
Mhm.
I was going to do this anyway. But I met a guy that this is a particular type of ballet that you have to have the rights to have this ballet in your company.
Mhm.
So I met the guy, one of the only guys in the world that have the rights for this in Brazil. He was at this company when he was young. And he is one of the authorities that have, I think it's just 3 people in the whole world at this time that have this ballet.
Mhm.
So he said to me, you're going to meet this woman in Germany, and she's going to, if you meet this woman, she's a lovely person, and you just say that, I say hi. I have no idea I was going to meet her.
Right.
But since he's always staging this ballet, good. I in Germany, I get to dance this ballet. So this woman came. So look how it's interesting. It's important for you to know what you want,
Mhm.
because things cannot happen randomly, and they do.
They do too.
But in my head, I said, I'm going to tell her. There is a person that loves you from Brazil and my idea was not to get a part,
Mhm.
but in her mind, I was trying to get a part.
Ah.
And then I came to her and said, oh, this teacher said you were wonderful. This day on, this person became horrible to me.
Oh
And
man.
would make fun of my parts, would go to the other person. Some people don't get it.
Or maybe,
And
wow.
she didn't like the person that
I thought that too.
That
I
could
thought
be.
that too. But it was so. I really.
You were doing your best.
No. What's not
meant
that I
well.
did by that. I really. What is it? The name? We just read in one of the. What is it? Okay. The meaning of your communication is the response you get, no matter what your intentions.
Right.
So my intention was to say something.
But your
I thought she was
communication
going to
was.
say, "Oh my God, let's have a coffee and talk about him. He's a
Right.
wonderful ballet teacher." She was like, "Whoop."
Mm.
And so look at this. This was kind of audition situation.
This is
Sometime-
like, you know
no.
what reminds me? Cultural thing. It's the excitement of us sometimes
Yes.
that scares people
Yes.
away. I feel the same way. Sometimes when I talk to people, I think we spoke about this in another episode. I come too excited to talk to the person, and then they kind of like, wait.
Yeah, I know.
And then I have to
wait, yes.
slowly tell the person, because the person sees me more often, and then it's like, oh, Junior is like that. But if the person doesn't know, that's it. They don't even look at me sometimes.
Mm.
Isn't that crazy? It's cultural thing, and I think that's one thing we have to learn, and everybody has to learn,
Mhm.
especially for dancers that come to America, or dancers that go to Europe, or dancers that go to Brazil. You have to understand the difference on culture, and communication is different anywhere in the world. Like everybody means something when they're talking, but that's not necessarily gonna make you understand me the way I want to,
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's what happened.
Let's
And what happened? What was the end of the story?
The end of the story, she wrote a little note for me saying that she heard was wonderful, my part and everything.
She wrote a note.
Yeah, on the end.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting to see how not many times in my life things like this happen.
Mm.
Yeah, that I really miss it. But that's why, because we are used to act on the automatic. It's
Right.
important to ask yourself what I'm doing here.
True.
What I want from today, yeah, like on the audition. And I'm working on this still today, but most of the good things that supposed to happen in my life come from me letting go of all the negative beliefs, all the little things that I believe. Every family have a different one,
Right.
but in my family there is this. I think it's love to help. No? That when they say, "I'm not gonna like you if you do this," when you're little,
Right.
yeah, if you do this, mommy or papa now, and then
And then
you become so sensitive of what
Right.
people think of you.
Right.
And in my family, we are like so strong. I mean, especially me.
No, I think I know what you mean. I get it and I understand that. But I feel like we're letting go a lot of stuff.
That's why
and
it's
molding
important.
us. But I think we're gonna do that
Let go.
until the day we're saying goodbye,
Yes.
You
Dr. Freud,
always
Dr. Freud said, always
throw
cutting,
them back.
always cutting,
Always cutting.
always
So
throw-
let's
that's it.
let's
Throwing
do
out.
something.
That's it.
Just a quick thought.
Mm.
So I'm gonna ask you, Umberto, and I'm gonna say myself. So for you, Junior, what it takes to get hired in an audition? There's no right
Smoke
or
a little more.
No, I get it. Was that?
I said smoke a little more. How did you how to get higher?
Higher.
hired.
That's a good
Hired.
one. Good one. I think what gets you all of the things we said here, but I think the most important thing, in order to be hired, you need training in anything you do in life, right? You need to spend hours learning something.
Mhm.
You need to focus on something that makes you feel good, and that's gonna happen naturally. But in order to be hired, to be in the professional level, it's love what you do. You're gonna be hired. You know what I mean? You're not gonna go wrong on doing something. You might gonna be successful doing something you don't like, but that's not the good way. Later on in life, you're gonna be probably not happy about what you did.
Do you think you're able to see who loves what they do in the audition room? If you were to audition,
some people very easily you see like, oh, they're having a good time.
right?
Yeah.
Some
They
people,
stand out.
They
some
sparkle.
people,
that
They
too.
spark on the eyes. You can
Yeah.
see.
some people you're like, yeah, I don't think you're in the right place. But you know what I mean? Like, it depends. Some days you in a good day, some days you're not.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's hard to judge
There are also
on that.
different kinds of love, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to love. You love what you do.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
levels of.
You can enjoy a lot too. Just have a great time doing. That's why with commercial dance, this is very powerful. Yeah, you can find, and even I believe this is the best way for a person that's doing more commercial. Because the other day I was saying about because of dancers that do just this style or music or whatever. But the truth is, it depends on what you're doing.
There's place for everyone, for every type of professional.
That's exactly, because I'm thinking, even though we're talking about auditions, I'm thinking about also the person. Yeah, but also if you are a person that do more commercial dance, you have to learn always new steps like this and things like this, and you are competing with many other people. But also I'm thinking about this guy that is kind of like in a more smaller place, research on his dance,
Right, more
developing kind of like a Martha Graham feeling, like researching and what is it,
learning how to express themselves,
and how can I make this thing that I have inside of me, that how can I bring this out, and this feeling by auditioning you can, and people would say this competition too, by competing too much you could erase a little bit of that depth on your
because you're just performing,
because you perform. So that's why I'm trying to bring also doing something that's going to bring the artist to do some deep art, something that is from inside of them. Yeah, not just the art that's from outside, like a choreographer. Because I always think about like this.
because you have to bring to the table. That's the thing too.
It came something to me.
Not only learning the piece or the material, but like you have to bring to the table you.
Yes,
gotta be there, present.
But look, isn't this a field in the dance world that we should explore more? Like the person that is doing commercial all the time, his soul, I don't know, his spirit is needing this other work, right? Is needing to do something deeper, to connect with him, with his ancestors or bloodline. I don't know what it is, but he had to do something. So this is what I'm thinking. To sometimes doing a lot of, imagine, we know people that do, I don't know, 10 auditions per week, right?
Professional auditions. I was a professional auditioner at some point.
Yeah, you have to, because in
I
New
had
York
like
it's
2
like
auditions a week. But to train, for me to get better,
to learn
and faster, you know.
This is good too.
It's an exercise, a tool,
desensitizing too, because after the steps, the steps, kind of similar.
And
so that goes back.
Kind of audition. Sometimes it doesn't have nothing to do with me, but I'm like, I'm gonna put myself in this situation because it's uncomfortable.
Excellent. Desensitize. This is good too.
That's another thing.
That feeling.
That's another thing. What you're saying, that I'm adding to what I was saying before. How can you get better at auditioning and get hired, right? Practice. Go to all auditions you can.
Go to the audition.
Go to different companies. Ask for taking a class. Show up.
Yeah.
Like show up. That's in the practice way of getting hired. It's practicing.
Yeah.
You know? And then slowly you're gonna build up to become the performer you want and the artist you want, because you're good at present yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I really had to learn how to audition because I never liked it, and in my head it's like, oh, I hate audition.
And I think that's why.
But that wasn't helping me.
No, and I think that's why competition.
I have to learn how to audition, how to get hired. Yeah. That's it.
And that's why competition is important too. It's a way for you to get out there. People can see you. It's a way for you to, because sometimes you have dancers that are amazing in the classroom, and then when they go on stage, they don't know how to perform. They're very safe inside of the studio, but on stage they can do 2 pirouettes. They're kicking everything they do because of stage fright. So what is it? Audition, I think it's good because
just desensitize.
Yeah, you get into the mood of performing all the time and show up and be in front of people. This is
and audition and also go on stage. Sometimes people prepare for years in the studio. In stage, lights, makeup,
it changed everything.
I would like to go through a step by step, just for helping the dancers, thinking about people that are auditioning, people that are competing. So this can help. So it's just the outcome. So it's like number one is it has to be stated on the positive. Yeah. No, I don't want to be weak on the audition, or I want to feel like this. I want to be like this. Or I want to. Yeah.
Feel good.
And then you have to know where. So when and where. Yeah? Then after that, is it within my control? In the case of the audition, your emotions are. Yeah. You cannot control what the other person gonna feel.
do.
Yeah. And then how can I measure and test is exactly how I felt in the end. Of course, if I get the job, I already measured that I was doing a good job. But how do I feel in the end? Do I feel like, because how many friends we have, and I have a specific one that for years after the show, he would be so depressed.
Right.
And audition or show, he was always very disappointed with himself.
Because it's the way they talk to themselves.
We learn, yes. And how can I finish? Like you said, I just come here to learn.
You gotta give yourself a good feedback.
Yeah.
You have to, because people are not always gonna be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to learn. I finished this. This was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you force yourself to say it was good, you believe
no,
it.
but
it was.
look, you can just say what's good for today.
Good for today.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what that's what we got.
Be generous to
Well,
yourself.
yes, because that's the thing. We're not machines. Some days
Exactly.
we're in the
Living,
living
breathing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Is it ecological? It's a good thing for me. Yeah. This we don't need so much, but yeah, like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
You're thinking about is it in my case, if I audition, because now that, like I say, I am older and I'm going towards a type of research with my art.
Right.
So I can also produce choreography, but also kind of like I'm doing this research. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm in an audition, I visualize myself there. I visualize how I'm relaxed, and also the people around me, the music, the teacher, and it doesn't really matter.
You know, one thing that I use sometimes, and I think you told me that, whenever I'm even on TV auditions or dance auditions, I meditate, I close my eyes, and I try to remember the colors of every part of my clothing that day. And that brings me back to, I'm like, yeah, now I know. Because you can get lost here in your head. You know?
Yeah.
So many thoughts, so many yes and no's and worries. And if you let yourself be in that, that place where you have no idea what your choices are, that's it. You're going to be run by it.
Yeah.
And that's when you lose everything.
That's why I love this thing that I always doing to myself now. Just think about my how many people before me, my great how many people have to go to the war or to hunger or plagues and things like this for me to be here today. You know, like going to a place where I'm going to be exposed with that feeling. I am much more than what I'm. You know, like that's
You're a superhero. You know?
Yeah. No, think about it. The Mexican, I forgot her name. The Mexican, she was a big star. And she, in the interview, the woman said, can you define yourself? And then she said, I'm so much more than I can explain.
Is that Selena? No.
No, this is from the 30s, 40s. But you know, like, I want to go to this show not as the person that's trying to seek approval,
no. You have
but
to
as
see
the
yourself.
person that came to share this energy, you know, this power. And so it's good for you to visualize.
As we were watching We Are the World, that's the feeling, right? That's the feeling you want to have. Like when you're doing something that you're excited about. And for instance, Lionel Richie was like presenting an award. Yet the only thing he could remember was the magic that happened afterwards. So it's like that feeling of like, I'm good, I'm doing something meaningful, I'm doing something that's important to me. And
Not just presenting the award, he won
many awards.
that night.
It was amazing, yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like getting to that state. I think the goal.
It's too arrogant. Sometimes people can say this. Né? This is, oh my God, dancer sometimes are so
there
out of
is
reality.
a balance,
But
though.
save the world by the art. You know, save
There
the
is
world.
a balance, though. That would be my answer. Like, what it gets to get hired. Of course, it gets you to do a good job in the material that you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But more than that, I would observe their personalities in the room within each other. Like if I separate in groups, were this person respectful to the others?
Yeah. Is he a leader?
So,
Is he
because
a,
there is a line,
yeah.
like you're saying, like confidence, yes, okay.
Mhm.
Be arrogant, not okay. For me, some people would love the arrogance, right? So there's no right or wrong because for whoever is auditioning, they have their own personalities and they have their own personalities that they like.
Like you got
But for me, it would be confidence, no arrogance, and respectfulness.
For
Of
sure.
course, and more important than if I like. Okay, let's pretend I have two dancers here. One dancer does everything more than I asked for, and learn like right away, but she's so arrogant. I don't want to work with that person.
That's it. It's a
in the
personal
long
thing.
term.
so many times I have
Like,
this situation.
why would I hire this person and I have to deal with that every day? No, because this will go
Personality
against me
sometimes is like
at
a
some
key.
point.
You know?
The other one is okay, not so, but we can work with that. And she has a lovely personality. I would hire that one.
Yeah, but that's why when I told the student to change her physiology when she was doing the audition, actually what I was trying to get is that the teacher would feel comfortable every time he see her, and unconscious on the back of his head, he's like, I like this person.
Yeah.
But that's like this, like when somebody hold my hand, and then they're like, leaning
Oh,
fish,
yeah.
That's
or
really off.
too strong. So you have to
There's
connect
a
with the
balance.
person,
Yeah.
and then the person, oh, I don't know why. This is a nice person. I remember that a priest that he would hold my hand so hard and almost broke my hand. And I didn't like this guy at all, and I didn't know why I didn't like it. And then after older, I seen this book about handshake, and that your handshake says so much about you. And like so, like,
Do you
holding
respect
my
the
hand.
person? Do you want to show that you're more important than the person? It's like
Yeah, because
there's a balance. Respect. You said something that's
Yeah.
important. You gotta be very respectful
Yes.
in order to.
I think
get
And
to
sometimes
work.
your intention is wonderful, but
Right.
you have to know. Like the limpy fish thing is the guy would go to Brian, and when he was going to say hi, he give him the left hand, and he said, oh, okay, your hand is okay,
Right.
and he say, no, I'm fine. It's a way that I found to make people never forget me. And Brian just said, and he was right. I never forget how uncomfortable I was. How like.
Yeah.
But his intention is to let me do something unique.
right.
Yeah.
People try to do unique.
That's something that.
But it was. Yeah.
And I think that just to finish here,
I also went
we
somewhere.
learned that a
else.
lot here in New York. Like a different backgrounds, like, like relationship.
Yeah.
It's a very important thing, and it takes a long time for you to understand. Some people are very good at relationships. Some people are likable, like on the first side. Some people you gotta really learn the person so you can slowly like, oh yeah. So I think when you come to a place where you don't know, you haven't been there before, be respectful, like Anna said, be on time, do your thing, know what you want to do there.
And for the people that believe in
And-
energy, if you bring a bad energy to
That's it.
audition, you are also
Ask yourself.
likely to not even get the
Right.
job, even if you would in another situation. But you bring the heavy energy, the people can feel.
Because that also happens unless the person who's in front auditioning you has the same energy.
Yeah. There you
So
go.
then they will match.
Mhm.
And that's okay because
Read.
you
And then
probably
the
don't
place is
want
gonna
that
be
job
read the room.
either.
It's so
You
bad.
probably don't want that job either because many times I was auditioning for someone like, oh, I would hate to work for this person.
Yeah.
And then of course I
Know
still
what you
did
want.
the audition, but like after almost, oh thank God I didn't get it. Almost like that.
I
Right?
work
Because
with-
you wouldn't say no if you get the
Mhm,
job because it's too tempting, but too tempting.
tempting.
But when you hear things like what's going on in rehearsal, like, oh, thank God they didn't get it.
Yeah. And another thing, you might have to try many times. How many times did we audition for the Met? Many times until we got it. So
like this,
one audition doesn't
Define you.
define you and define your ability of auditioning.
Mhm.
Because someday they might not need the person exactly like you. So it's
Or
always
like you're
changing,
saying,
always
or
changing.
you were in a bad day.
Yeah, I think there's
Or you were
many
in
things that
focus,
could be
or-
the reason why you didn't get the job at the first place. So
Yeah.
keep trying. If you have the feeling, ask yourself what you want. Keep on doing it. You know.
Until you become fun and you just go
Yeah.
without anything in your head, like,
And you said
and
something
then
today.
that's when you get hired.
When you said something today, dance is a state,
Naturally
a natural state.
state.
And dance
How
is
is
a
it?
naturally
Occurring state.
occurring
Current
state.
state. That's it. When you know that, you're gonna be dancing. And I think that's it for this.
No,
episode.
let me just read.
Dance is a state in which we stop trying.
There you go.
Right. That's it.
That I think that's a good
Mhm.
quote.
But I don't know how to
for
dance.
this.
Don't try. Just dance.
No, but look,
Stop
they're trying
trying.
also in this
Yeah.
in this thing like this. Look, like the door. I'm trying to open the door.
Mhm.
When I'm saying this, I'm not opening the door yet.
Mhm.
So what I do, I'm opening the door.
Yeah.
I'm not trying.
Do it.
So saying try, and I catch myself so many
I
times.
correct
saying,
myself a lot
try.
like that.
And
Mhm.
one very interesting. I'm using dance this year this way to erase the trying inside of me
Mhm.
and become a little more like a facing life the way it is. I know everybody have some, but I carry too much trauma,
I get it.
and I need to clean that up with dance
Yeah.
instead of holding all of this pain or this. Everybody has, and like Brian Tracy say, right?
It's not you.
When you think you're having a difficult time, just go to a hospital, cancer hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna be ashamed of yourself, like how I'm
Complain
taking.
for no
But at the
reason,
same
yeah.
time, we are emotional beings, and a tool that we can use to filter, to drain the bad energy out, is by dancing, I believe. So, like, I feel like in some way when you do audition, this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially you guys that you are kind of like in the same environment. So you guys going together and and then you start to make something, start to do something. Yeah,
Mhm.
but at the same time, you need to. I mean, we're talking to people that audition, so
Yeah.
enough.
Oh, one
No,
thing.
but that's a lot.
One thing that I just remember that I was doing, to get good at auditions. That was a year actually when I booked so many auditions. I was to get myself familiar with the person that I never met before, was to actually study that person. Not study like, but the day before I would Google his or her name.
That's a good
and I
idea.
would see what his work were. I
Oh,
would
I
read
did
some
that too.
article about this person,
Research.
what language they could speak. If they could speak Portuguese, great. I say I have something to
Yeah.
talk about
Mhm.
that's different from whatever is going on there. So I did that year. I think it was something you told me. And so when I got there, it was like I already know that
Mhm,
person. So
mhm.
it was it was
Yeah.
even more familiar.
You
Not
like
just
the person
room,
before you meet the person. Yeah.
not just the room, but it was like we already worked before, even though we never had. But I know I have a subject to talk
Mhm,
about,
mhm.
or I'm interested about your work.
That's very
Something like
similar to what I try to do with the
With-
person in Germany.
Yeah.
But you see, but that was
I have something wonderful
Too
in common.
excited. You were too
yes,
excited.
but that was the only thing you had in common, right?
So,
But that was somebody else told you to say
yeah, so somebody else
It
told
was
me.
not-
Yeah, but
coming from
Humberto, and I feel like that's something that we
yeah,
are
and
very
this
good
happened
at.
many times.
We're very good at this. We want people to feel good. We're people healers in a way.
One time,
We're always trying to make the
Yes,
person
yes.
feel the best way she can around us. And sometimes we talk a little too much because it go over.
No.
You know? I
that
feel
was
like I'm like
that was the
sometimes.
situation with the composer that I they didn't know if we were gonna be good together, and so put us in the room, and the director left, and when she came back, we're like talking and laughing, and then it's like
Thank God.
they're good together, like
Uh-huh.
because it was funny because I used very bad English, but at this moment I wasn't interested in improvisation.
Right.
and then he's like, man, I love jazz. That's moment it
Boom.
starts to.
Yeah.
But also look again, thinking that it could go wrong. That's what I'm saying. The director, many times, unless he's a very crazy person, but many times he want to see people, and he will immediately read the energy.
Mhm.
He knows. There's a choreographer that said to me this. Sometimes you will remind him his sister, or
You
her,
never know.
or her
somebody,
brother.
somebody might be hired because
They feel good.
you are
around
someone that they always love to see when they were dancing. You know?
Mhm.
And the
They love
same
to see on
way
stage.
happens the other way. You remind
My
them
ex.
somebody
You remind my
that
ex.
they don't like.
That's it.
They don't want to even watch it.
Yeah. Exactly.
My ex made
Yeah,
me my
this is
life
all-
miserable. So that's
Well,
it.
you have to remember that
Trust
we're
us,
all-
guys. You
they're
say you're Brazilian in some places, people go like, "Oh, ballet
Yeah.
dancer from Brazil."
But
That
they're
judgment
all-
is terrible.
But they're all the opposite.
And
Like,
that
I got hired just to say bom dia.
there you go.
True.
Brazil! Oh my
Yeah.
God, I love
Yeah, but
Brazil.
there's people that love the Brazilian.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah,
I did,
any place,
in
you
the
know.
room.
You have misconceptions and misjudgment
Yeah.
for no reason
Yes.
because we hear other people saying. But anyways, let's finish this because this has been very good.
This was a great subject. I
Yeah.
feel like we could go.
I think
Yeah,
every time-
yes, no,
about it.
I'm full of ideas about
Yeah.
just the first part.
Maybe we
of it.
can-
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
we
great.
Let's
do
do
it
more.
another
Let's
time,
do
yeah.
more. Let's do more about things that
Part 2, auditions. Part 2.
Part 2. We're gonna talk more about
Oh.
everything that we went through. No, I know you're gonna start
Next
talking
time.
next
Next
time.
time.
Audition. Little scenes that happen in audition with you guys.
Oh, I have so many.
One day Juninho is the director, one day you the director.
Oh my
I have
God.
so many.
we should
ideas.
make a little. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Sorry
So-
about that.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Please like this video, share with your family and friends, listen to any platforms that you guys like. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Keep on dancing.
dancing.